Okay, so this interactive whiteboard lesson is based on an objective from the Common Core standards. The objective is to be able to identify characteristics of each season. So what we're going to do to introduce the topic is showing a brief video that will talk about the seasons. I'll just show a couple seconds. This is one of the elements of the interactive whiteboard lesson.
Cold weather's kind of winter's thing. In spring the plants get back their bling. By summer they're in full swing, but in fall their leaves go tumbling. Down, down, down to the bottom. Oh, that reminds me, some folks call fall autumn. Well, anyway, winter, spring, summer, fall. 1 year, 4 seasons in all. Winter, spring, summer, fall. 4 seasons, you can count them all.
Okay, so that kind of gives an idea of what it's going to be. In the next section, it shows some characteristics of each season, which goes along perfectly with the lesson. So after, as a class, we'll move on to this next portion, and this is an interactive portion of the lesson. What I'll do is I'll have one student come up and pick a season from the hat. So it's fall, so we'll put fall in this circle here, and as a class we'll decide which image matches the season that was chosen. So put the pumpkins. That means we got it right. I'll have another student come up. They'll pick a season from the hat. Spring. Then we'll decide as a class. We'll have a student drag this over. We'll do that again. Another student will come up, pick a season from the hat. I'll have another student drag the correct picture over, and do it for the last season as well. So that is one interactive portion of the lesson, which also includes images. So the students will have a chance to work in partnerships. You notice that there are images used on this page as well, which is another requirement for the lesson. But for our lesson in the classroom, we will have each partnership on their own device, and they'll have this link. One characteristic of the seasons is the weather and what you would wear in that weather. So they'll go and do this activity together, dress for the season, and they'll work on that with their partner. And after that, they'll find this next page that will have these instructions for them.
When I say go, get together with your table group and think of characteristics for each of the 4 seasons. You can talk about what you see outside during that season, what you wear, what the weather is like, and what you do. When you have some ideas, choose one group member to come up to the board and write down the ideas from the group.
And this page actually has some other important elements that were required. It has a shape. The instruction is found in a shape that's locked in, and the text around it that you see is also another element that is required for the whiteboard interactive lesson. Also, the instructions is audio, which is another element. So then, when the students have thought of some characteristics for each season, we'll go on to this next page. And I already have some examples here of some things that the groups could have written. So for winter, snow, spring, blossoms, swimming, hot for summer, and the leaves change in the fall. And so then group 2 will then have a chance to come up to the board and write down the characteristics, and group 3 and group 4 will do the same thing. So this brings in the element of interaction. It's also an element of community. They're creating a chart together as a class, but this is also my form of assessment. I know which students are in each group, and I will use this to assess whether or not they were able to think of the characteristics of each season as a group.